Snows continue to fly across most of central and eastern Kentucky. We'll put a track on what is left heading into the overnight and look ahead to more snow chances. That's coming up.
Breaking news tonight, we now know which two candidates won the Democratic and Republican primaries in New Hampshire.
A tense discussion during an Urban County Council work session today. What council members said about a future city hall and Center Point.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good evening. Tonight, snow continues to fall across parts of Kentucky, and it comes with some very cold air.
It is another WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking both the snow and the cold for us tonight. He shows us what's on the First Alert Defender right now.
Yeah, seeing these rounds of snow showers that just keep coming at us, and that's going to be the trend right on the end of the day tomorrow. We look at our winter weather cams, eastern Kentucky, parts of central Kentucky, and the west central parts of the area from Frankfort toward Louisville and E-Town. Everybody's seeing snow on the ground and a little bit of light snow moving through. Still snowing here at the station, albeit on the lighter side compared to what we were seeing a little earlier, down to 19 degrees. More importantly, look at your wind chill. Feels like 7 into Lexington right now. Those wind chills across the entire area, for the most part, down into the single digits. 2 into Covington. Feels like 6 for the good folks here in Madison County. London, good evening. 9 is your current wind chill reading. We continue with that winter weather advisory through tonight into the day tomorrow. Snow showers, flurries, boy, oh boy, they just keep on coming at us across the entire area. That northwesterly wind aiding in the snow shower development, and again, coatings to maybe a local inch possible as we go into tonight and tomorrow. All told, this isn't a big storm system by any means. It's just more of a nuisance snow that can slicken up roads yet again. Now, if we're out and about tomorrow morning, we're into the low teens. We may have a hard time cracking 20 degrees come tomorrow afternoon, then we drop it into the low teens by tomorrow evening. So Wednesday, snow showers, bitterly cold wind chills, and watching a weekend storm system. That is the highlight or low light of the focus of the forecast when I come back at 11:13. We'll see you then.
Chris, thank you. Now to some breaking national news that we're tracking tonight. The results are in for the New Hampshire primary. Democrat Bernie Sanders and Republican Donald Trump have scored big wins.
And it didn't take long after the polls closed tonight for both those campaigns to declare victories. Danielle Nottingham has the breaking details.
CBS News is projecting Donald Trump is the winner of New Hampshire's Republican presidential primary.
New Hampshire, I want to thank you. We love you. We're going to be back a lot. We're not going to forget you.
Exit poll data showed that nearly half of Republican voters wanted a political outsider.
He's a little different than everybody else. He's not a politician, for one.
John Kasich's intensive ground game paid off, with CBS News projecting a second-place finish for the Ohio governor.
Tonight, the light overcame the darkness of negative campaigning.
Trump won with broad support from independent voters. Independents were also key for the Democratic winner. CBS News is projecting Democrat Bernie Sanders scored a significant victory over Hillary Clinton.
We won because we harnessed the energy and the excitement that the Democratic Party will need to succeed in November.
Clinton conceded the loss, but said she's in it for the long haul.
We're going to fight for every vote in every state.
The next contests take place February 20th with the Democratic caucus in Nevada and the GOP primary in South Carolina. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
And now to a developing story we have been following tonight. The U.S. Supreme Court has decided to put President Obama's Clean Power Plan on hold until some legal challenges can be resolved. The plan calls for reducing carbon dioxide emissions at existing power plants by 1/3 by the year 2030. But more than 24 states, including Kentucky, filed lawsuits to stop it. Now, much of the plan calls for dramatic reductions in the use of coal, which many Kentucky lawmakers said would kill jobs. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky said he applauds the decision, and Governor Matt Bevin called it, quote, a huge win in the fight against Obama's disastrous Clean Power Plan, end of quote. In a statement tonight, the White House said the president is confident the plan will prevail on its merits. Appellate arguments will begin in June.
It has been a debate in Lexington for years, but today a discussion about the Centerpoint project downtown became heated during a work session of the Urban County Council. It came as council members received a report about possible sites for a new city hall in Lexington. Centerpoint is one of the options. Garrett Weimer has the latest.
Consultants say the city's most viable options are at the city's transit center on Vine Street, the Lexington Convention Center site, and
there is a big hole in the middle of downtown, let's be honest.
Consultants say several issues need addressed, but they recommend the city start negotiating with Centerpoint developers.
Obviously, this is a great site. It's a great location. It's right in the center of town, and there are clear benefits from an economic development standpoint of getting Centerpoint as a development kick-started.
There was a lot of debate over whether information that was being released should be, making the work session heated at times.
In our document that is now public, we have the current lease proposal details in defining square footage terms, lease terms, TIs, and all that.
I just don't see where this conversation is furthering any opportunity for the city or the council or the conversation right now. And if there's something to go in closed session, I'm prepared for us to do so. If not, I'm not sure there's any more Q&A that's going to provide anything useful today. Period.
Other council members say they're upset the report simply offers options they already knew about.
I don't think anyone needs to spend $200,000 to be told that Centerpoint is an option, or that the transit center is an option, or the convention center property. I mean, any of us in this room could probably say those are three potential sites.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The report also included two alternative options. Those included the Lexington Herald Leader site and the downtown block where the library currently is. We've posted the report for you on WKYT.com and the WKYT News app.
This spring, a fallen Richmond police officer's name will be added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. And his friends and fellow police officers want to make sure they're on hand to pay tribute. Officer Daniel Ellis died in November after being shot in line of duty. Tonight, a Richmond restaurant raised money to help Richmond police officers make that trip. Monique. 11.
This may look like a typical Tuesday night at Apollo's Pizza in Richmond. But this Tuesday night, the money brought in will be used for something special.
It was something that we didn't hesitate.
Every May, fallen officers are honored at National Police Week in Washington, D.C.
They had numerous names every year.
But this year, one of Richmond's own officers' names, Officer Daniel Neil Ellis, will be added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial.
He did his job very well. He had a lot of friends, and that's why anytime that happens, obviously it's going to be an outpouring of grief, but it was particularly acute because of his place in the community.
With the support of the community, Richmond hopes to send as many officers as possible to witness the special honor that will be given to Officer Ellis, who died in November after he was shot while investigating a robbery.
I would want to be there too if it was my department.
Apollo's Pizza gave 20% of their dine-in and carry-out sales, but the giving didn't stop there. Several of their servers also donated some of their tip money. Also, you can see this jar was set out for additional donations to help the officers make that trip.
But I think that's part of how they heal. They know that he's going to be memorialized permanently in the nation's capital, and that his passing was not insignificant.
In Richmond, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And tonight, the grand total raised during the fundraiser was $1,015. The total cost to send the officers to Washington, D.C. is $7,500. Several more fundraisers are planned to help reach that goal.
Just 3 days after a big win against Florida, the Cats were back in Rupp Arena tonight to play Georgia, and the game just wrapped up a few minutes ago. Brian Milam joins us now with some of the highlights. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Amber. Yes, the game just wrapping up, thankfully, for Georgia, because Kentucky won 33 straight at Rupp. No Alex Poythress tonight, but as you will see, the Cats did not need him. The offense was incredible, the defense even better. Game tied at 4 early on. Derek Willis open on the wing. The three is good. Kentucky leads by 3. UK using the pick and roll to perfection. We have not seen this a lot lately. Tyler Eulis to Marcus Lee. The California kid slams it home. Everybody likes that, and they would like this a lot, too. Jamal Murray, he was on fire Meyer. Look how far out that one is, but that was nothing but the bottom of the net. Catch by 9. Eulis drives. Murray misses point blank. He hits the 30-footers. He misses the 2-footers. Scal slams it down. Hey, how about Murray again in the corner? Murray with 13 in the first half. He had 24 for the game. Here is the highlight of the night. Defense to offense. Derek Willis, the steal. Watch this. The hammer. The roof came off. And Kentucky, they rout Georgia tonight. Incredible game. 82-48. Georgia went 18 minutes without a basket. We'll have the complete highlights and the game stats later in sports.
We will see you then, Brian. Thank you. Up next, the Cats play at South Carolina on Saturday.
Investigators still trying to figure out the source of a salmonella outbreak in Estill County, but in 9 minutes, why one restaurant there decided to close voluntarily.
And then what a federal judge said today about Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis and the ACLU's complaint against her.
It is all about the snow showers across the area for now. I'm focusing on the weekend and the possibility of a little snow for your Valentine's Day forecast. We'll break it down together in just a moment.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT. A devastating fall got her to the hospital. What they found changed her life. Brain cancer.
At first I thought my life was over.
The amazing story that has led her back home to UK. A life-saving fall. Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
Choosing a college is about setting a course, a path that leads to your destination. At EKU, the adventure is what lies in between. Eastern Kentucky University. Great journeys begin here.
Are you tired of juggling your finances and can't afford those remodeling projects?
Surplus Sales has beautiful kitchen cabinets at unbeatable prices.
In stock and ready to take home. Come on down to Surplus Sales for some great deals.
Hey guys, it's Deanne Stevens for Sleep Outfitters. Be sure to join us Saturday morning for some exciting President's Day weekend deals. Sleep Outfitters on WKYT.
Steak? I thought we were on a budget.
I can't eat another fish stick.
I hear you. How about a vacation?
I thought we were on a budget.
If we book on Allegiant, we can totally afford it. The sun, the surf, we all deserve a break. Listen to your wallet.
Kids all set?
Yeah. What should I order? It's so beautiful here. I love the sun. The weather is perfect. My tan looks amazing.
Ready to eat?
Listen to your wallet and visit Allegiant.com now.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter. Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
WKYT First Alert severe weather days rolling on here across central and eastern Kentucky. Feels like numbers. It's the wind chill. Combination of the actual thermometer and the winds. It's the number your body thinks the temperature is. It's what your body's going to react to. We're down a few degrees from the top of the hour. It's 4 right now in Lexington. 4 degrees. That's what it feels like. 2 into Covington. At times tonight, we're going to be right around 0 for a wind chill. Actual temperature now down to 18, 19 showing up here into Richmond and Danville, 17 across the Covington, Cincinnati area. Northwesterly winds. You see those streamlines coming at us from the Chicago area. So look how cold that area is back to our northwest. Single digits is close by right now as parts of Illinois and Iowa, and that's the air we are getting in on. Northwesterly flow around here. You hear me say this all the time in the winter months, starting November and sometimes going through March. Northwesterly winds, chances are going to produce some snowflakes around here. That's what we're seeing right now. Winter weather advisory does continue for the entire area. Cue the Defender Radar Network to show some snow showers, squalls, and snow flurries. It has been nonstop now since early yesterday morning, where we've had some snow, and it will likely right on through the day tomorrow. At some point every hour, we'll be tracking a little bit of snow flurry or snow shower action across the entire area. It's a nonstop event. It's not adding up to much, not expected to, but yeah, giving us the possibility of some slick travel out there through the overnight and into the day tomorrow. Those snow showers trying to pick up a notch here across the Lexington area. we look at our trusty big floodlight that we have out back of the station here, right on our tower. It gives us a great look at night of just how hard it is snowing, and the flakes are beginning to pick up a little bit, not only in intensity, but they're getting a little bigger out there as well. Notice those gusty winds that'll blow it around. Upstream, starting to see the flakes tapering off a little bit. So more snow showers overnight. Watch out for some slick roads. Tomorrow, cold. We may not get to 20 in some areas for a high temperature. Still some flakes that'll fly around. Thursday morning, a little bit of snow across western and southern parts of the area. You may see sun Thursday afternoon. Then Friday rolls around. Here comes another little light snow maker. See, I'm already tired of saying it. Let's walk you into it with the hour-by-hour forecast. Those temperatures tomorrow, again, high teens, low 20s, all about where you are. Tomorrow night into Thursday morning, could get a little swipe of some snow in the southern and western parts of the area, though sun tries to make an appearance Thursday afternoon. Watch how quickly we cloud over on Friday. And here's that little band of some snow along an Arctic front that dives in here as we go into the day on Friday. That introduces a cold Valentine's weekend, and by Sunday into Monday, we've got to watch a storm system that's going to try to take a track across the Tennessee Valley and then up the eastern seaboard or across the Appalachian Mountains. Where that winds up could mean the difference between a little bit of snow or a lot of snow Sunday into Monday. As we like to say in this TV business, stay tuned. We'll update that forecast over the next few days as we get new model data. No matter how you slice it, it's cold and it's snowy.
Yeah, well, single digits coming up.
It feels like 4 right now.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get off work now.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, you want to heat my car up?
Nice.
She is one of Hollywood's biggest stars, but Jennifer Garner spent the day in Kentucky for an important cause. We'll explain in 7 minutes.
It's not about the distance you have to go. It's about the drive that gets you there.
It's what makes us Kentucky strong, independent, and proud.
Giving it your best, 100% every day, because that's what it takes.
When it comes to getting things done, nothing outperforms, outworks, or outshines Ford F-Series trucks from Paul Miller.
39 years and still the leader. Ford F-150 from Paul Miller. Big Blue Nation's destination.
United we stand, Kentucky strong. Ford Trucks and Paul Miller.
At Belterra Casino Resort, you'll discover that the time of your life is best shared with good company. That every moment is worth savoring. And that some nights should never have to end. Belterra Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
Come get some real slow-smoked pork at Sonny's Barbecue. Both pulled and sliced pork with sides and bread for $9.99, or with a redneck egg roll for $11.99. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
It could happen to you. The care that your loved one requires is more than you can provide, and you find yourself relying on a nursing home. If you currently have a loved one in a nursing home and you have concerns, you're not alone. At Care Command, our licensed nurses perform a specialized review on your behalf, evaluate the care, and provide you with the information you need to ensure your loved one is receiving the best care available. Becoming your voice, getting answers for you. Care Command.
Uh-oh. What if it's my time? How would Julie and the kids get by? Would they be able to stay in the house? And why don't I have life insurance?
It's not too late to get life insurance. Don't wait till it is. Talk to a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent. Kentucky Farm Bureau. Big on commitment.
Think you might be pregnant? No judgment, no pressure, just help. AssuranceCare.org.
Insurance companies demand prompt and full payment of your premiums. Shouldn't you receive prompt and full payment of your claims? When you don't, you know who to call. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
An Estill County restaurant has decided to close temporarily as county health leaders try to find the source of a salmonella outbreak.
The owner of Eagles Roost Sports Bar and Restaurant in Irvin says that the business will be thoroughly cleaned as a precaution. The restaurant's most recent health inspection found 6 violations, including the dishwashing machine not being hot enough and bags of frozen chicken breasts being thawed at room temperature. But the inspection does not say that the restaurant is in any way linked to salmonella. The restaurant's owner says he just wants to make sure it's safe for his customers.
If there's any sign of anything here, I want to clean that up. I want to get rid of it. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable about coming in here and eat.
He says he will reopen the restaurant after hearing back from health inspectors.
New tonight, a federal judge has dismissed a request from the ACLU to order Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis to reissue marriage licenses she altered to remove her name. Judge David Bunning said today Davis is allowing her deputies to issue marriage licenses without her name on them. So as far as he's concerned, she is obeying his order to issue the licenses. The judge also said the altered licenses are valid. So in his opinion, the ACLU's request is moot. Also new tonight, firefighters plan to release the findings of their investigation into the Bluegrass Stockyards fire later this week. The Lexington Fire Department expects the report to be released on Thursday. The massive fire on January 30th destroyed the stockyards along with some neighboring businesses.
A Wayne County couple facing charges tonight stemming from a fight between teenagers. Deputies charged both Derek and Katara Dobbs with unlawful transaction with a minor and wanton endangerment. Derek is also charged with assault. Last week, deputies say the couple encouraged Derek's 14-year-old daughter to fight a 16-year-old and even drove her to a parking lot for the fight. They also say Derek Dobbs kicked the 16-year-old during the fight. The 16-year-old's mother says the other girl had bullied her.
The girl proceeded to hit my daughter, being coached by her father.
She says her daughter suffered serious injuries in the fight. That mother also says the fight was over a boy.
Today, Kentucky lawmakers heard some testimony from a well-known actress. Jennifer Garner came to Frankfort to encourage lawmakers to continue supporting Save the Children Foundation. She's on the organization's board of directors. Save the Children helps young children prepare for school and focuses on low-income families. Garner says the organization is seeing results here in Kentucky.
I believe so strongly in the work that we do for children, and certainly nowhere is it done more effectively than here in Kentucky. This is the model for the rest of the country.
Tomorrow, Garner will visit students at Manchester Elementary School in Clay County who are being helped through Save the Children.
Kentucky was just an awesome display of defense tonight, Brian.
Yeah, the Georgia Bulldogs had no shot, literally and figuratively tonight against the Wildcats. The defense was as good tonight as it was last year versus Kansas. Sports is next.
WKYT's High School Game Time is brought to you by Eastern Kentucky University.
The treasure folks are loving is the ocean's greatest haul, McDonald's Filet-O-Fish, the most golden of them all.
Right now, get 2 flaky Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $5.
Hi, I'm Brent. This is Geronimo. We're here to tell you about Fireplace Concepts, Lexington's only licensed fireplace shop. With over 60 years of combined experience, we know what it takes to heat a home. Come by and see us at our newly renovated showroom on Regency Road, and as always, home is where the heart is.
Kentucky Lottery's Keno, the exciting way to have fun every 5 minutes.
Fueling imagination.
Funding education.
These gray skies, you could shake them up, we could
Wake up with a hot McCafe coffee starting at only $1.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $157 million.
Yo, no thank you for the bag, man.
Checkers and Rally's mouth-watering 2 for $2 deal is back. Your favorite crispy fish with Alaskan filet or our spicy chicken sandwich. Mix or match, $2. Checkers and Rally's.
Epic meals, epic deals.
19 pool tables and a full bar. Only at Silver Q on New Circle Road.
Like to know how to avoid measuring, marking, and bad cuts with your circular saw? With the Craig Rip Cut Saw Guide, you'll make those accurate cuts repeatedly without measuring or marking your boards. The Rip Cut adjusts quickly to your cutting width, making cuts in plywood and MDF fast, easy, and accurate every time. Great projects all start with perfect cuts, so get the Craig Rip Cut Saw Guide today. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Get your Craig Rip Cut at craigcutting.com or these and other fine retailers.
We have an abundance of natural resources here in the Bluegrass. More miles of running water than any state in the continental U.S. You may not know it, but all those creeks and streams catch water directly from our storm sewers on the streets. That means when someone tosses a cigarette butt on Main or Vine, chances are good it'll end up in Town Branch. Leave some pet waste on a sidewalk near Versailles Road, it goes into Wolf Run Creek. Help us protect what's priceless.
When it comes to your heart, there's one team that's leading the way to better care in the area: Baptist Health. Our team exceeds national standards for heart attack care and has been recognized with top quality ratings for cardiac surgery. From clinical research trials to advanced imaging and surgical options, our heart specialists provide nationally recognized comprehensive care right here at Baptist Health.
If you have questions about your on-the-job injury, visit forthepeople.com for more information. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Alex Poythress is missing his second straight game with a right knee injury. It's not the surgically repaired knee, but the Cats would not need him tonight against Georgia. Let's go to the highlights. The Bulldogs led early 4-2. Then Tyler Eulis, he get a little up and under move with the paint, a little backyard move. Derek Willis continues to play well. Open on the wing, wide open for three. The Cats lead by 3. Isaiah Briscoe loves to drive to the basket. Rodney Dangerfield, you want to earn 2 points the hard way? He goes down right there, but he can get back up and keep playing. Derek Willis catches and shoots. He is dangerous when he does that. Puts 3 more in the scoring column. Cats double their lead, 12-6. UK using the pick and roll. We haven't seen it much, but we saw it right there. Tyler Eulis to Marcus Lee. He slams it down. Everybody likes it. Claps all around. Jamal Murray, wow. He's on fire tonight. Way downtown. Cats by 9. You want more Murray? How about you get it? A little quick hitch, and there's the giddy up. 22-13 Kentucky. Not a hotter shooter in America right now. Eulis drives to Murray, who misses point blank, but Scalabissiere is there for the putback dunk. And I haven't seen too many who can contain Tyler Eulis one-on-one. Just uses the Georgia defense soft off the glass. Kentucky leading by 8. Murray in the corner again. Just ridiculous. He had 13 and a half, 24 for the game. Kentucky up 11. Here's the highlight of the night. We showed it to you earlier. Derek Willis, the steal and the slam. The roof blew off Rupp Arena on that. 42-24 at the half. Second half, Murray begging for it. Give it to him. The lead's at 21, and it would grow. Murray had 35 on Florida, trying to do the same thing tonight out of the corner again. Wow, what a performance by Kentucky. Final score 82-48. Murray leading everybody with 24. Georgia, look at these numbers, because Georgia was terrible from the field thanks to Kentucky's defense. 22% from the floor, 0 blocks, 0 steals. Kentucky dominating the main stats tonight, cruising to the win. Now to high school basketball, the Dunbar Bulldogs. They've wrapped up the top seed in the upcoming 43rd District Tournament. Tonight, hosting the current second seed in the 43rd, Lexington Catholic. Brandon Salzman, Scott Chalk giving orders, and it was a tight one the whole way. Zan Payne, Kenny Payne's youngster, scores and one. He had a double-double. Knights up 2 after the free throw. Jordan Lewis, the steal. Oh, you give it to him right there, and he goes 2 feet, 2 hands for the dunk. And Lewis, the point guard, can't find anybody to pass it to. So what do? You just pull it right there. 4-3. Dunbar would rally in the fourth. Comes from behind to win, 59-54. Lafayette ended a 4-game skid by upsetting unbeaten and top-ranked Mercer County a few days ago. Tonight against Bryan Station, Eric Powell, the 3. Generals up 18-5. Station's Raphael Few. Crossover. Ooh, wow. And the hang and the score. The lead down to 6. But Juante Carpenter finds William Watkins. A layup for the senior on senior night. And Lafayette, big time, 78-52. Across town, it was LCA at Tate's Creek. Eagles trying the lob. Trey King bats it out. Great play to Christian McBeth. Commodores running off of a turnover. Isaiah Patterson with 2 of his team-high 12 and 1, but it was all LCA. King will beat the buzzer at the end of the first. LCA's had that happen to them a lot this year. They turned the tables on that play. 71-41, your final. And finally, West Jessamine and Woodford County. Yeah, I wish I was at the beach too. Off the inbounds, the quick pass to Keegan Stromberg, and the lefty scores right at the rim. Another southpaw, born a Whitesburg Yellow Jacket, now a Woodford County Yellow Jacket. Chandler Stewart from the baseline hits. Back comes West Jess. In the corner is Cameron Cedar for three. And then Saya Holyfield inside off the glass. Wait for it. And one. Colts, they won 4 in a row. 79-70 your final. Matt Jones is on the way talking about the new UK logo. Overtime is next.
The treasure folks are loving is the ocean's greatest haul. McDonald's Filet-O-Fish, the most golden of them all.
Right now, get 2 flaky Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $5.
Choosing a college is about setting a course, a path that leads to your destination. At EKU, the adventure is what lies in between. Eastern Kentucky University. Great journeys begin here.
Every day holds promise. A chance to do things a little better than the day before. An opportunity to make a difference, one life at a time. At Clark Regional Medical Center, we are working to redefine excellence in healthcare by providing the technology, specialties, and services you need right here at home. Together, making communities healthier. That's the promise of Clark.
The world doesn't slow down for anyone. Neither do we. The bold 2016 Toyota Camry. Aggressively styled, with available 18-inch wheels, dual exhausts, and the most advanced features right at your fingertips, including blind spot monitoring and wireless charging. Now, get a new 2016 Camry with 0% financing for 60 months, plus $500 bonus cash. Or lease this Camry now for only $179 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Alt Smoke Vapor Lounge specializes in a variety of electronic devices and refill liquids. Let our team of experts help customize your vaping experience. Stop in and see why we are Lexington's premier vape lounge. Touch, taste, and feel the difference with Alt Smoke.
At Golden Law Office, not only do we have extensive trial experience with large jury verdicts in Kentucky, we have resources and insight to handle cases that involve catastrophic injuries and death. At Golden Law Office, our results and resources allow us access to world-renowned experts. Remember, we handled cases for insurance companies for over 25 years. They often value your case based on the attorney you hire and the experts you retain. Put our experience, resources, and knowledge to work for you. Call us today for a free case evaluation.
At Baptist Health, we want you to know the facts. Visit BaptistHealthTalks.com to view a video of cardiologist Michael Rukavina on a new leadless pacemaker technology. Baptist Health Lexington. Be a healthier you.
Hey guys, it's Deanne Stevens for Sleep Outfitters. Be sure to join us Saturday morning for some exciting President's Day weekend deals. Sleep Outfitters on WKYT.
These gray skies, we could shake them up, we could
Wake up with a hot McCafe coffee starting at only $1.
I'm WKYT's Barbara Bailey, and I stand for Kentucky.
Now look, I know a lot of people don't like change, but I'm not one of those. When something happens that's different, I usually try to embrace it. So when I heard that Kentucky was going to have a new secondary logo, I decided I wanted to like it. Why not embrace change and have a difference for this UK program? But then I saw it, and I have to tell you, I'm not a huge fan. Look at it right now. You're going to see what my friend Drew Franklin says. It kind of looks like two birds making whoopee. Now, once you've seen that, you're going to have a hard time looking at it the same again. Now, the goal of the new logo is to have a Wildcat that looks more modern. Looks like it's running through the air and breezes behind it. But all I see are those two birds making whoopee. And that makes it really difficult for me to take it seriously. I like the idea of change. You know, we've had that UK for a long time. But change just for change's sake doesn't always work. This secondary logo won't be used a lot. It'll probably be on our helmet for one football game. But I don't know if that's even going to work for me or not. From now on, every time I see it, I'll think of birds being happy, and I don't think that's exactly what they wanted when they made the change. I'm Matt Jones, and this has been Overtime.
I don't think there is a segue, so yeah, how about...
How do I have to follow that?
It's all you, man.
Why is that on me? Straight to the forecast we go. Snow showers, flurries out there over the course of tonight and into tomorrow. I would imagine a few school kids tomorrow morning will be happy when they see their school scrolling on the bottom of the screen yet again with another snow day or two. Not a big snow, but flakes will continue to fly through tomorrow.
I didn't say a word. And Brian?
Kentucky's defense was great tonight, period. 11 field goals. They held Georgia to 22% shooting. Amazing effort.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here with us. We'll see you tomorrow.